Hey everybody, Tim Albrecht here. Welcome to this week's episode of the Ask a YFP CFP segment of the Your Financial Pharmacist Podcast, where we feature questions from you, the YFP community, to be answered by one of YFP Planning's fee-only certified financial planners. Before we jump into today's question, I want to give a shout out to YFP Planning's extraordinary team that makes this segment possible. YFP Planning offers fee-only comprehensive financial planning services that are customized to the pharmacy professional. So whether you want to optimize your investing plan, pay off student loans, or simply build a solid financial plan, YFP Planning will get your income working for you rather than the other way around. You can learn more and book a free discovery call by visiting yfpplanning.com. Again, that's yfpplanning.com. Okay, Tim, this week's question comes from Carol in Missoula, Montana.
Hello, this is Carol McKenzie from Missoula, Montana. I was wondering, what is the best way to make extra payments on student loans, and is the timing important?
What are your thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, so I think the first thing here is to kind of figure out what loans you want to target for that extra payment, and there's a variety of ways. People sometimes do it by interest rate, which is just kind of the mathematical correct way to do it. The emotional way might be to target the lowest balance. So if you have, a string of student loans, which is many pharmacists do, which is why their credit reports are so long, because for every disbursement, it's kind of an account listed on the credit report. It might be a good idea to kind of list those out and then determine the things that you're going to target. Once you figure out that, then I think the default thing that I would do, because every loan servicer is going to be a little bit different, is contact them. You can contact them either by phone or online, and you want to basically instruct them how you want to apply your overpayments or your extra payments. And that could be to your current balance, or you may need to ask your lender to make principal only payments if that's what you're trying to do, which in most cases, that's what people are trying to do. Every lender is going to be different. So some might apply, if you don't instruct them, they might apply that payment to the next month's payment. So let's pretend my payment's due on the 1st of May. I paid that, but then I want to pay it, today we're in mid-May. I want to pay an extra amount. If I do that without instructing them, they might apply that payment to my June 1st payment, which is not what I want to do. And every lender is going to be different in terms of the rules. So some might say that you have to pay, any outstanding fees if they're there, then interest, and then your principal. So to me, I think the best approach is to target, figure out what loans you want to target, and then reach out to your loan servicer to make, to have instructions on how you want to do it. And I would say you probably want to do a payment against your current balance, or instruct them to make a principal only payment. Now, the question of timing is also important, because there's actually, and I forget where I saw this, but I think it might have been Bankrate or Investopedia or something like that. The idea is that the more frequent your payments, the better it is in terms of your ability to pay that loan off quicker. So if I make a loan payment on the 1st of every month, and then I decide to kind of change steps or change frequency, and say I make a bi-weekly payment, that actually is the equivalent of actually paying one extra payment, I think, a year, if I got that correct. Mm-hmm. So the more frequent your payments, the better it is against your overall term of the loan. So that is important. So if you can make more frequent payments, then I would, so maybe you align that more with, if you get paid twice a month or 24 pay cycles in a year, maybe align that so you're kind of getting extra bang for your buck. So the timing is key, but I would say first and foremost, target the loans, call your servicer and clearly direct them, because without that, they might just default to whatever their internal protocols are, and that might not necessarily align with your what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and Tim, I think this is a good opportunity, for Carol, for others listening, to take a step back and say, what is the game plan around the student loans? Do I have the right repayment plan in place? Have I evaluated all the options? And here we are again. When this episode goes live, we've got a couple months left in the administrative forbearance period, at least as it currently stands. We'll see what happens here coming up throughout the summer, and such a great time to make sure we've got the right repayment strategy that is optimized, as you've said before on the show. Many times our planning team talks with folks that maybe have done some research, have a decent amount of knowledge on student loans, but there's more often than not an opportunity to optimize that strategy. And sometimes that can be the difference of significant dollars. And so for that reason, our planning team, and led by our lead planners, Kelly Reda Hefner, Robert Lopez, CFPs with expertise and much experience in student loans, we offer a one-on-one consultation called the Student Loan Analysis that is designed to answer exactly the question, do I have the right repayment plan for my personal situation? Is that plan optimized? And so for folks that are interested in learning more about that service, you can go to yourfinancialpharmacist.com/SLA. Again, yourfinancialpharmacist.com/SLA. Carol, thanks so much for taking time to submit your question to be featured on this week's Ask a YFP CFP segment. We're going to be sending you a super comfy YFP t-shirt as a small thank you. And to those that are listening, if you'd like to have a question featured on an upcoming episode, 2 ways that you can submit a question. One, you can shoot us an email at info@yourfinancialpharmacist.com, or you can also go to yourfinancialpharmacist.com/ask YFP, and you can record a question there as well. As we wrap up, an important reminder that the content in this podcast is provided for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to provide and should not be relied on for investment or any other advice. For more information on this, you can visit yourfinancialpharmacist.com/disclaimer. Thanks again for listening, for your support of the show, and have a great rest of your week.